Today I will discuss the problems with literacy and its decline. I will offer solutions to these problems, and hopefully it will inspire you all to start reading more. Reading has been in decline for longer than just the recent COVID crisis. It's been a problem that has been growing ever since the 1960s. I've done research into this topic, as well as I avidly read many books, comics, manga, internet articles, and so on. The suspects for declining in literacy. Colonial governments made literacy a prerequisite for civil rights. Until the 1960s, Americans were required to pass a literary test in order to even vote. This is from an article called Points of View, Decline of Reading by Micah Izzet and Caitlin Cook of September 2, 2025. In the article, The Digital Revolution Has Reading Comprehension Declining by Jacob and W.E. English in Marlanda, reading for pleasure will continue to decline in popularity because of the new media choices at lower prices. This talks about how today we have many opportunities to consume other forms of media such as Netflix, YouTube, Hulu, Disney Plus, all at cheaper prices than what it is to buy a book. Buying a book costs anywhere between about $12 to $25, where you can buy a subscription for only half that price and be able to enjoy more than just one story. When we fail as a society, if we do not recognize and acknowledge the capacity of reflecting reasoning and those who disagree with us, as stated by Kate Perry's article in 225, Declining Reading Habits Threaten U.S. Democracy and Social Connection. This is how that we have to be able to reflect and critically think about the things that we say and do and consume, being able to connect to one another, whether we disagree or not. We have to be able to see other sides of the problem, and we have to be able to reason through them as well. How to improve education and reading abilities. According to One for the Books by Mary Catherine, reading out loud is probably the least expensive and most effective innovation that we can make for the good of our families and the wider culture. Simply reading out loud rather than reading to oneself allows you to enunciate and be able to better communicate as well. Under the 2013 Literary Based Promotion Act, Mississippi enforced phonics, held back third graders who couldn't read, adapted literary training for teachers, and provided literary coaches for the worst performing elementary schools, as stated in an article from 2025 of the National Review titled The Southern Surge, written by Frederick Hess and Jessica Hennig. During this time is when Mississippi started to promote literacy in its own state, and it became promoted to nearby states such as Alabama, Louisiana, Tennessee, and Arkansas. During that time, we saw a rise in our literary capabilities, and it was advanced more in the country than any other state had during that time. Reading for all ages and all skill levels. There are many forms of media that we can draw from rather than just books. When we see the decline of reading, most of it has been from the recent 20 years with the rise of technology that has become available to us. Most of the time whenever research is done into these, it is typically done from reading novels and light literature, especially in schools. What we don't count is all the other forms of media that we have currently available to us. As I said earlier, I personally read comic books, graphic novels, there's manga, there's even fan fiction online. All these are all forms of reading. Even in video games today, we can play games that are essentially movies, just in interactive form, with lots of reading to it that's more than just aim and shoot bad guy. Influencers are even taking up a mantle of teaching in a way, or at least inspiring people. Chris Fizer from Chris Kinda Reads is an influencer has been currently recording and sharing himself reading books. He takes his time to go over these books that are primarily meant for grade students and is sounding out words. He is reading through the book that itself and gets excited about the story as well. This promotes a whole lot of popularity amongst younger people and inspires them to read as well. There's more than just what we do in our schools that can help promote teaching as well. In conclusion with all of this, I hope this inspires you to read a little bit more and to know that reading can be affected on so many levels, whether it's peer pressure, by laws that we have enforced, by the systems that our schools use to teach us, and also the greater illnesses of the world that have caused us to be shut in more often, and that there's media for everyone. Whether you want to read Shakespeare or you want to read a young adult novel by Neil Sussman, there's more adventures and interesting things out there than you can ever imagine. There's always something for someone.